Hi everyone, it's Elmer here with Jay again. I don't know why I did that. Today we are going to do some moulding. I've got myself a plastic and rubber moulding kit. So we're going to do an experiment with that. We're actually going to, if I can swap round, we're going to mould this old fish tank ornament of a skull. So Jay, if you do the honours and start filling it with, yeah, sorry about the Dyson in the background and Jamie's feet. Yeah, we're going to fill it with carrier bags and then make some rubber moulding liquid up and then pour the liquid in to the mould, put the skull in it for a little while and see what happens.
Go.
Yeah, we were going to originally try and mould this. But I don't think it would work too well unless we wanted to do a fetal looking mould. Actually, we might give that a go in a little while. Oh look, his butt's on show and his tail's up. Ooh, ooh. Sorry. Okay. Right. So in order to do this, we need to mix up the silicone rubber, misses, and the catalyst, which will make it go hard. So it's like the Viagra of the silicone world. Oh, my knees are hurting, so I'm going to have to go down. Right, needs to be 10 parts silicone to 1 part catalyst. So if we want to cover the skull, I'll put a mark just above where the top of the skull is. This is probably really unscientific. So that is our 10. So halfway down, that's our 5. So we need to do 10 to 1. So that's our 10. So I'll just divide one of these into 5. So that's...
You can see the cogs turning in his head.
And this is really unscientific, no measuring at all. Right, there, do you like my measurements? So basically what that is telling me is if that's 10, now I just need to add 1 more, and that top one would be our catalyst. So let's try it. Okay, get into this stuff. I wish it had, like, you know, Jay, you have a quick release on and you pull this bit off, and but now it's not one of those type. Okay. It doesn't smell, which is a bit strange. I was expecting there to be quite a smell, but there is no smell from this stuff.
But at least it doesn't smell like that Copydex stuff.
Oh, yes. Well, I was expecting a latexy smell. I don't know why I did that for latex. That's the universal Elmer sign for latex. Woo! When I tried the mould in my hand, which is around here somewhere, it's around here somewhere. What is it when I want to show? When I tried the hot mould in my hand, I didn't have the correct thing to mix with, so half the stuff didn't mix properly. So when I took my hand out of the mould, some of it was still wet. So I'm going to use a wooden spatula, only like £1 from Asda or Tesco or Walmart in the States. Okay, so we're using Polycraft general purpose silicone rubber. And we're going up to the 10 mark.
Ignore the train, you can probably hear in the background.
That's it. That's it. Finish.
Use the spatula too.
Finish. Finish. Oh, this guy's done this before. Right, let's just double check this. Yeah, it's like cake mix. Okay. Adding the catalyst up to just over. That's it. Okay. now I need to start mixing this. Oh, pardon me. Woo! Oh. It says it's not used for use on skin, so I'm trying not to get it on my skin. This skull has got air in it, and it keeps trying to push itself to the surface. We've got quite a high work time with this, but look, he's going to try and escape in a minute.
Get back down there.
Okay, we've kind of like changed the plan here. The container is now upside down on the table, with the big container holding it down, and thankfully there's been hardly any seepage.
Super.
Good morning, folks. There was a bit of a miscalculation with the whole mould setting stuff. Yeah, the mould, you had to leave the mould for 12 hours. I thought it was only like 60 minutes. So it is actually Sunday now. Jay is not here. See, an empty sofa where he was sitting. So yeah, the mould. This is what the mould looks like now. It looks kind of solid. So I'm going to try and remove the mould now and see if it's turned to rubber. I've turned the mould upside down now, and it seems to be quite solid here. So now I'm going to try and take it out of the I want to try and keep this plastic container for later moulds, so let's see if I can get it out without actually damaging the container. Okay, hopefully people will learn from my mistakes on this. Because there was air inside the I'll start again. Because there was air inside the polythene bag that we actually put in the skull, it rose to the surface and is only partly submerged in the rubber. I actually had to cut the top off using a knife to get at it. So I don't know how much of the mould will be able to save. I'm going to try and get the skull out of the mould in a minute. It seems like it's all set and cured. Oh no, there's still a little bit. But we're at that stage now, we might as well just see what happens. Okay, the rubber is now out of the mould. It just looks like a lump of cheese. Squidgy. It seems to be all set apart from a couple of sticky bits on the top. And I think it's because they didn't get any air to them. We've got this skin around it. Oh, I love pulling this skin off. So I'm going to switch off my cam now while I try and get the skull out of the mould, and then we'll see what kind of imprint the skull has left. So I'm just pulling off the little thin bits. Right. Okay, so I've cut off all the skin. It's got the imprints of the skull in it, all the detail as well. I think that was, this bit here was that bit there. So you can actually see the original skull now. It does seem to be completely set. I think when we started doing this it was about, pardon me, about 5:30 yesterday. So it's now 10 o'clock Sunday morning, or just gone 10 o'clock Sunday morning. So it's had about 15 hours. My maths is terrible. Yeah. So I'm going to see if I can retrieve it from the mould and maybe even fill the mould with some liquid plastic and make a plastic cast of what's there. So yeah, this is going to be interesting to see how this pans out. Right, I'm going to try and remove this skull now. I need both hands free for this, so I'll let you know how it turns out in a minute. Okay, so I got the skull out of the mould. It's left its imprint, but I really had to hack to get the mould apart. So I'm going to try and do a cast with the liquid plastic in this mould in a little while and see what happens, basically. What kind of thing I end up with. Yeah, so the next time you see me, I should have made a plastic cast from this skull with my kind of hacked about mould. So it'll be interesting to see what actually comes out of the mould. Okay, I have just poured the liquid plastic in the mould, and very shortly it should cure white. Okay, so the plastic has gone a milky colour. So at about an hour's time I'll be able to demould this, but I'm going to wait a little bit longer because of the reaction that takes place. It takes a little while to cool down. So I now have the skull mould out, and surprisingly came out alright. Still a bit warm. Sorry, the lighting in this room is a bit... Let's turn it off, that's better. Yeah, so it's still a little bit warm because the reaction's still taking place in the core. But yeah, I'm really surprised with how well this came out. And that was from the two parts of the mould. It's got some black on it, and that's because the original ornament had some algae on it from when it was in my fish tank. So that got stuck in the mould, and then it ended up on the skull. And it's quite solid. So yeah, actually quite impressed with that. And finally, just for comparison, there's the original and the cast side by side. Quite an impressive turnout, really. Okay, like or subscribe if you thought that video was interesting, and I'll speak to you again soon.